I think that should be.
Look at D-Rocks. D-Rocks is legit.
He's got fit in his bag.
Like you got the IKEA one.
ESPN money.
Why are you looking on IKEA? What if they want to be sponsored?
Yeah. Mark. Let's go.
Jesus Christ, get it together.
You ready, Mark?
First time.
You go ahead.
Only Matt, 2 minutes, 2 minutes.
So last year, during the AFC title game, you guys got off to a hot start with using Corey Grant. Do you feel like that's an opportunity that you guys should exploit more?
Yeah, I think anytime, Corey's on the field, he's got the opportunity to make a big play, obviously with the speed that he has. And really just that whole room in general, with Leonard and TJ, all three of those guys are really good players. So, that's kind of Nathaniel's job is to find a way to get those guys the ball and put them in the best situations to create positive plays. They're all certainly deserving of some touches and the opportunity to make plays, and we try to get it to them as much as possible.
There have been a lot of changes up front on that defense this offseason, but the secondary kind of remains intact, and that's probably their strength. What have you seen from that group?
They do a good job. They're as sound as you can be fundamentally and discipline-wise. They're going to be in the right place, and they're going to make you make an exceptional play to beat them. They try and take a couple things away from you and maybe make you do some stuff that you're not comfortable doing. But like you said, they got some good guys in the back end that have played a lot of football. Some older guys back there that have seen a lot, and it's a group and a scheme that we got to go against not that long ago. So I have a little familiarity with, but it's going to be a challenge as far as us being on point and executing.
How hard is it to not get caught up in the early season hype of this game, the rematch, all that stuff?
I think it's, everybody knows what happened last year, and going up there and not winning a game that we felt as though we could win. But it's a fresh start. It's a new year. It's a new team. They got new guys on their roster, so it's a chance. I kind of look at it, more of. It's an opportunity to play our first home game, in front of our fans against a really good football team in the Patriots, rather than a revenge game or anything like that. So it's a good chance. We've won 5 or 6, whatever it is, in a row at home. So to get an opportunity to kind of keep that streak or pick that streak back up and get that going again is exciting.
Back-to-back games, New England and the opener, where the offense wasn't what you wanted in the second half. How do you jumpstart that?
Yeah, we just gotta find ways to whether it's there's usually always something, whether it's you start slow or you finish slow, or there's kind of always an area in the game it seems as though there's something you need to work on, which there always is. But we got to find a way to just translate how we start the game into the second half. We got to continue to attack and try and get points every time we have the ball. And at worst case scenario, find a way to flip the field and give our defense good field position. So we got to continue to work on a ton of stuff there and just make sure that we're locked in and focused throughout the game in every series. So we give ourselves the chance to do that.
What do you think the atmosphere is going to be like?
I'm sure it'll be awesome. It kind of just being around town and the buzz of everybody here. Been hearing it for a long time about how excited people are to come to this game and be there for the week 2 rematch of last year's AFC Championship. So I'm sure it'll be fun. I know we're excited to play in front of a packed house.
So you've been hearing this more than just this week, then?
I think from a fan's perspective, it's the first home game. It's the home opener, and it's against the team that ended our season last year. So it's a big game. We know it's a big game, but it's also just the next game.
How much does, if any, limit the whole game plan? The whole game planning thing. If even if Leonard can play for part of the time, but it's not like a full 100% normal thing. How much does that limit game planning, play calling, all that stuff?
Yeah, it'll be the staff. They do a good job of coming up with the plan and putting us in a position to be successful with the guys that are going to be available. If Leonard can play, then great. We'll have some stuff ready to go. And if he can, or if he's questionable, whatever that may be, we'll have a good plan. Kind of utilize the backs that we have that are available and finding different ways to kind of get them in space.
How does what you do with your legs, forcing opposing defenses to sort of think about that, does that open up the offense more? Sorry if it's been asked.
No, I think so. I think in talking to defensive guys, I think at any time you can scramble and create a play as a quarterback with your legs. I know it's huge on third down, because defensive defenses in general, I think, pride themselves on getting off the field on third down. And when the secondary does their job as far as covering everybody up, and you're still able to create a first down as a quarterback run, and I think that's kind of a deflator, from their end. So I think anytime we can stay on the field, move the change with a scramble or a run or anything, it helps out in the run game as far as keeping the backside honest and making sure they're staying home and not letting those guys kind of just chase our backs down from behind. I think it helps as well.
Belichick Vic and then one other guy and then you in terms of yards per rush and
Mike Vick, man, me and him are the same guy.
Belichick compared it to Cam and Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, that's pretty generous.
Did your hamstrings really tighten up on the 41-yard run, or were you just joking about that?
No, I was just kidding.
That's
Me
what I
and
thought.
Milo have been training for that all summer.
So you could have gone. You could have gone for another 20 or 30.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I was about done. They were coming in hot. Got all I could. John,
Hey, listen, we were talking about Fournette.
John had a question.
Oh, go ahead, John.
I was
Yeah.
so owned by Gene. Do you try to shut out any of the outside buzz this week, or do you sort of embrace it? How do you approach it?
Yeah, it's really, it's not all that hard for me to not listen to what's going on outside of our locker room. Got a good amount of practice at that. So, I just staying locked into the game plan, figuring that out and owning that as much as possible, making sure we're locked in as a group in everything that we do each day in meetings and walkthroughs and practice and our prep. We're getting ready to go play game 2 of our 2018 season. That's kind of how I look at it. I let everybody else kind of build the hype and all the extra stuff around it.
Outsiders think there's this huge drop-off from Leonard to Yeldon inside the locker room, not really the same thought. What have you guys seen from Yeldon to make you pretty comfortable?
Yeah, I think just watching him play over the past couple of years. Obviously, with Leonard coming in, his role changed a bit last year. And was more of the third down guys. Leonard kind of carried the bulk of the carries. But in the 3 or 4 games that Leonard didn't play, I think you got a chance to watch and see what kind of back TJ was. I think we won those 3 games that Leonard was out and TJ started. He did a good job. And then obviously mixing in Corey and some different things and situations as well. I think everybody knows the kind of football player that Leonard is and what he brings. He's an extremely good back, and I think when if he's not going to be available and you go to TJ and Corey, I think they do a good job of picking up that slack, and I think everybody else takes pride in the fact that if we're not going to have Leonard, we got to make sure we're on top of our game to help out the backs.
Like you worked hard with a lot of these receivers, whether it's Moncrief or Austin Sperry and Jenkins in the offseason practices. Are games different in terms of developing trust at all, or does that develop more as you guys will play, under the lights more together?
I think it's definitely one thing to get reps on it in practice, and I think it is a little different to get them in the game. You're able to, I think, build the confidence through the week, getting reps on air or on, the scout team or whoever it may be. So I think you have that, that comfortability and the confidence to take it into the game, and I think, once you start doing it in the game, consistently is when that confidence really, grows. I think when you're able to go out there and everything translates, and we're doing it the same exact way that we were doing it on Wednesday, out at the practice field as we're doing it on Sunday afternoon. I think, that's when everybody really believes.
That talks about going to that 4-minute offense, being able to run the ball even though when the defense is coming. How hard is that really to kind of get that going?
Right. It's a challenge. Like the situation we had last week. Everybody in the stadium knows we're going to run it 3 times, and because you got to make them burn their timeouts, and then you got to run it on third down to let the clock run. Just because it's pretty valuable to make sure that clock's running and they're burning their timeouts, and you're going to do it against a loaded box. It's going to be hard. So, you got to make sure everybody's on the guy they're supposed to be on the right landmark, and you got to just get 2 or 3 each play and hope that by third down that you somehow find a way to move the chains, because that's how you win that situation. You got to get 1 first down to be able to run out the clock and end the game.
Do you think the line or you guys are better equipped to do that?
I think so, definitely. Yeah, I think, with Cam being a year older, with Norwell coming in, and then really with Brandon in the right side, another year in Nate's system, I think everybody's comfortable with the packages that we have in those 4-minute situations, and I do think we have a better chance to be able to get that done this year than we did last year.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Mike.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Sorry, Gene. It's all right.
Next week.
Next week. It's good. All right, sorry. Yeah. Well done.
Yeah.
That's cool. Every day? Yeah. 30 seconds.
still a senior.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like the whole year or this?
No, this is just in case I'm sure
So for when we reference
You did? Dude, he's on a nut. It's a whole new world now.
How's it going? I redshirted. So, I think I'm at a
Okay. Well, I wasn't there to see it. I'm reading it. No, I just wanted to make sure that.
Late all that off.
That's a long run for.
Maybe he does. Maybe that's why.
Ever.
Yeah.
When does he?
Yeah, sure. I didn't do an A&E by
I didn't write mine on check. I just. I think you did.
Could have been part of it.
Yeah.
Well, every single time.
No, he just called Blake asking.
I was just curious as to whether he would. I know he's a big roadster. I get it, but I wasn't sure in that moment whether it might have been. Again, he doesn't run. They don't sprint every day, ever.
They run after practice.
They don't run. They don't. They're sprinting. They're jogging. They're jogging back and forth.
I don't know if you know this, but 5 and
I know he's Cam Newton. I listened to Bill Belichick today. It's one thing to I mean, Jesus Christ. 2 more days, Mike. You can be out. You can move on to your hometown team.
What about my rookies this day? Thank God.
You are not getting over that wall.
I was like the week. I think it's 10 center trying to box out Shaq.
You got thrown back.
Look at this.
Yeah, you gotta get back. Ben and I barely made the waiver wire anyways, so it's fine.
I was like,
Oh, yeah.
I was like putting a weak safety on the ground.
We're using this in the documentary of the making of Sergeant Hood.
You could hang that in the Sistine Chapel.
Sergeant Hood? Yeah. There's a lot of people that have no idea. No, it's not for us. Yeah.
You're not gonna beat that.
No, you can't. And you shouldn't even try. It's like, it's literally like the 07 Patriots. You're going to need a helmet catch at midfield on 3rd down to beat.
Yeah, come on, everybody rocking these now. We Duval boys now.
Yeah, but the other shirt last week was.
It was? Well, every week we may have something different, This week is my Duval boys,
I've been meaning to ask you, since Miles was in here in the preseason and said the linebacker, you had something special for a nickname. The D-line was Saxonville, the secondary is the Jackson Jackson 5.
Right.
What do you got? You guys got something?
Well, we just gonna stick with the Jacksonville Jaguar linebacking core. You know, hey, everybody wants to, have titles and you know what I mean, do all of this fancy stuff. We're gonna keep it simple and make plays, and that's it. You feel me?
It's easier to keep it simple when you are making so many.
And I'm telling you, that's the thing. No knock on the. What they call themselves? Jacksonville. Oh yeah, the Jackson 5. Right. I don't know how I forget them guys. Yeah. Hey, look. You got a couple of those guys. You know what I mean? They like all of that. They got their own thing, but it's solid. It's love. I was gonna cut a joke on. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna stay away from it. The Jackson 5 though, they fire.
Miles is knack for getting in the end zone.
Yeah.
Last week he did against the Patriots. Probably should have.
And that's the thing. As a defense, we try and we don't try. We pride ourselves on getting the ball, putting up points, putting our offense in position to score points. So after the game, I made it come in. Our offense is our defense is almost like an offense on the field, just simply in the sense of putting up points or creating those situations, to put our team ahead or to get us in the position to go ahead. I think as a team, he had a great one. But as a team, as a defense, that's our overall mindset.
Looking at the tape, are you surprised that all the Texans weren't able to get more pressure on Brady?
Looking at the tape, was I surprised the Texans weren't able to get more pressure? I haven't watched too much of the Texans of the game. I mean, we started watching it today. But yeah, that's the Texans. I don't really, Texans. Right, another dog up front, another piece of this dominant puzzle that's getting ready to come back together. So we're looking forward to getting him back out there because that's just another rusher, another more pressure we can get on the quarterback. And obviously we know what kind of athlete he is when he gets out there on the field, so we know what kind of production he could bring. So it's going to be definitely another step forward for our defense.
Blake said that he'd been hearing about this game basically since the schedule came
right.
out, fans, everybody.
Right.
Same thing with you. Is this a game that a regular season game has more hype and more build-up than?
Everybody has been talking about this one because obviously we were the two teams that ended last year. We weren't the two teams that ended last year. They ended our season last year. So obviously a lot of people, will be talking about this one, and we got a matchup against them this year. So we're gonna see, but it should be a good one. We ain't really too much worried about. I can't say that we're not worried about it. I would say we're not focused on it, and we're not looking at the fact that we played them and the outcome of what that game was and saying that we understand the situation. We know where we want to go. We know what we want to do. Week 2, they on the schedule.
How's Leon Jacobs playing in that role?
He's done a great job. We just gotta make sure he understands how to become a pro and step into that role. But he's done a great job. Smart. And that's one thing why he's able to play on this defense. He's smart and he can run, and that's one thing or two things I should say that made him stick around and forced him to get a starting spot on our defense because he's earned that. He earned that.
They had Ronnie Harrison kind of play like a big nickel,
Mm-hmm.
which you're obviously accustomed to from FSU.
Uh-huh.
How much can that size at that position really help you?
You say his size at that position?
Just having it as kind of a bigger nickel and extra linebacker.
Right. I think anytime you can add another skill guy on the field, whether it's in coverage or whether it's in the run game, a lot of people don't like smaller guys in the run game. But as long as the guy's willing and he understands what he's doing, he's a great fit.
So how do you limit what Gronkowski does? What's the best way?
Stop him from catching it. That's really the only way. It's not like they go out and do something crazy. They run him on the route. Most of the time it's a basic route, and they throw in the ball and say, go get it. So we just got to make sure our best players or our players, because everyone's the best, we feel like we just got to make sure that we stop them when they throwing the ball. And we working We got good matchups.
You have to guard against getting frustrated though, because he's got that big catch radius, and sometimes the ball's up and he just goes and gets it.
I think it's respect as a player. You know he's a great player, so either you stop him or you're going to see him do all that crazy dancing and stuff that he does. So it's like I said about us. It's simple with what they do and how they move. It's just on us to stop them.
Telvin, when you guys have played somebody this recently, and you're very similar to what you were in January from a personnel standpoint, do you think a lot will change in terms of the wrinkles, or is it just you got to be better than you were in January?
That's really it. Nobody. Unless they just get a new coordinator, but these are, in essence, two of the similar teams that are coming back because we got new players and stuff like that. They have some new players and new additions and stuff. They don't have Cooks no more, so they're a little different. They run a little different. So again, it's similar, but it still will be different because it's different teams, different mindset. Not the same team they were last year. Don't have the same players.
Thanks, Telvin.
No problem.